down all the things that I love on my island. Best believe my list gon' be like 5 miles long. Best believe it's love that makes me sing this song. The cleanest breeze on the waters, friendly people meet in every corner. Togetherness and love is what we stand for. We stand for. We stand for.
Oh, island in the sun. Look at how we've grown, how far we've run. 50 years we strong and more to come. More to come. More to come. We're going higher. 50 years we're blessed, we're forged in fire. Still reaching for more. Going up, going up, 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 up. Going up, going up, going up, 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 up.
We're going higher. Going higher. As we aspire, build and fantasize, put people together.
Bang, bang, bang.
It's only up from
We take time to reminisce on the richness of our history from the beginning. From the people who came through sugar and change, emancipation to revolution. More than the speck up on the globe, more than the ice cream and gold, much more than the nutmeg and the clove. Tell the world we are Grenadians. Oh.
3 islands united as one, blessed with the strength to carry on. We're more than just that island in the sun. Tell the world we are Grenadians.
Higher, 50 years we're blessed, we're forging fire.
Oh, you mean?
We going up, going up, going up, 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 going up, going up, going up, 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 up. Aspire, build advance.
Welcome to the Hub. Again, another opportunity that you and I have to engage meaningfully using radio and social media to connect. And that's the beautiful thing about technology. I do not have to be in person in your room or in your car or on the block. But with technology, because of technology, you are able to hear me. We are able to engage in a robust, meaningful conversation via radio and social media. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off tonight by saying we have turned that page where bacchanal, confrontation, low life conduct, divisiveness, quarreling, bacchanal, that kind of behavior in the parliament, on different platforms, we have turned the page from that. For some, they're still stuck in the past. But I think the majority of Grenadians want higher standards, want something better than what we had many years ago, occupying the office of Prime Minister. And we are seeing that same conduct being applauded by the supporters of the NNP because they're accustomed to that kind of low life. They're accustomed to that bad behavior. They're accustomed to that TB and bacchanal. That is what they love. They appreciate that. So they shun professionalism. They shun, occupants of that office being classy and intelligent and being humble, getting the respect, earning the respect of the people. But I want to say tonight, we have turned the page on that kind of conduct. We have something new, something unique happening for us here in Grenada. We have a young team of men and women who is doing their job with distinction. And the only time you get TB bacchanal confrontation, uh, politics that's divisive, in my belief, is when those who were there for 20 something years get into the parliament and start making melee. Keith Mitchell loves melee. He loves confusion. He loves bacchanal, in my belief. He cannot do without it. He expects it. But what he has not been getting from the NDC side is, that back and forth, that confrontation. He has not been helped because he thrives when there is bacchanal. He thrives when there is chaos. He thrives when there is problems, really. That is what makes him popular, or he gets the attention then. But that's not happening the way he wants it, because the folks on the other side, they are not dragging the debates and the conversation in the mud. Keith Mitchell loves to play in the mud, in my belief. He acts piggish most times. The mud is where he belongs. He is an expert of playing in the stink mud. The dirty mud, the mud with a stench. He loves that. But he's not getting company to join him in that mud, in that stink mud, in that mud with a stench. But I am saying to our people, we need to demand better standards. We need to say, yes, we know you were there for 20 something years. And we admit that you're the longest serving member of parliament and you were prime minister for 20 something years, almost quarter of a century. And yes, we cannot point to many things that you have actually done. In fact, a good friend said to me today, after a man spent 20 something years in power, he's now trying to write his history book or secure his legacy. When he lost, he's now fighting for his legacy so that people can remember him as X, Y, or Z. But he's under serious duress. He's under pressure from all fronts because the debates are at a higher standard and more intelligent. The way those young men and women speak, you can learn, you can know more from their deliberations. It is no longer rah, 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 rah. The NDC is not interested in that. So he's lonely. Keith Mitchell and his gang, they are lonely. We have turned the page on that style of politics, that style of governance. And look, we know that there are people still in the media who loves that. Sensationalism, drama, bacchanal, TB, melee. They love that. And we also know that they're still loyal to Keith Mitchell and the NNP. Because when NNP was in power, a number of them got that opportunity to travel to China to sightsee, and then they come back and say they went to train. So they're loyal, and for some, it's the first time they ever traveled. So they're excited. They thought they would get more, and they still believe if the NNP is there, they will get more traveling opportunities. So they're loyal to him, so they would push that mic in front of him and that camera in front of him, and he will start speaking. But if you follow the comments under his different contributions or statements, people despise this guy. People don't like him. They just want him to be gone from the political scene. A friend said to me, why this guy don't take all the millions he has and go on some beach in Spain and skinny dip? So that's what a friend said to me. Because he's useless in the governance process in 2023 and going forward. He is still BlackBerry phone. He's still analog. He's still black and white TV. He's still aged. He's still archaic. It's still derelict, right? We are in a time where your vehicle is smart. Your watch is smart. Your phone is smart. Your tablet is smart. We can go on and on and on. Your computers are smart. Your lights, they're smart too. I am saying we need to say to this guy, a dancer must know when to get off the stage. A good dancer must know when to get off that stage, because all the applause that he received will turn into boos. And that is exactly what we are seeing now with this individual. So I am again saying we need to lift the bar, lift the standard of debates, lift that bar. I am not telling those members of parliament to take their death like a sheep. Sometimes you have to give a punch or two. You cannot just accept attacks, lies, misinformation from the NNP side and not do anything about it. But do not be dragged into the mud, because this little wee-wee knows about the mud. All right? He loves the mud. Let me deal with him in the mud, because I too understands the mud. I can go down in the mud and hook that pig by the nose, or put that pig under, duress, control. I can do that. I am skilled enough to do it. And that might be the most effective way of dealing with that individual who loves confrontation, who loves bacchanal, who loves tebe, who loves divisive environment. He wants some kind of, issue, problems, chaos, anarchy. But it's not happening. He's not getting that. Hence the reason I'm urging all of us as Grenadians to try to lift the bar. We want to know what's good in the budget for the Grenadian people. It's all good to criticize you. It's all good to point out certain things. Nothing wrong with that. But when you come across as opposing for opposing's sake, because we have seen it, you ask the simple question, and it's a fundamental one. Why will a party who every time they open their mouth talk about the poor and the vulnerable, oppose all these different programs get towards helping the poor and the vulnerable to elevate themselves, to come out of poverty, to come out of that dark hole that they're in, where they're so vulnerable, they're at risk, and the list goes on and on. Why would you oppose those programs, those initiatives? Get towards improving the lives, the living standard of these people. It baffles the mind, it confuses many people. But I am saying to all of us, home and abroad, we need to demand more. Know that these individuals will be paid $5,000 across the board. All member all the members of parliament will be paid $5,000. That's in the lower house, those who are elected. The senators, and mind you, those who were elected, they were actually collecting $1,400 and some dollars. It's a little under $1,500 per month. What can that really do? And they are in one of the most important institutions and very powerful institution, the parliament, making laws. The senators, they used to receive $852 or $53, somewhere around there. Right? Come on. $852? Think about it. So that will be increased to $3,500. The elected members of parliament, it will be $5,000 across the board. The senators, those who are appointed, $3,500. But you see, the NDC is not playing politics. They're about people. They're about addressing the needs of our people. They understand fully well that the salary scale of those members of parliament must be brought in line with the other OECS countries. Right? They know. And that is why they're not concerned about political backlash. Because any reasonable thinking person would accept that an elected member of parliament should get a decent salary. And $5,000 is a good place to start. And the government is not only giving just the members of parliament on the government side. They're giving all the members of parliament across the board, those on the NNP side and those on the NDC side. That is equity, that's fairness. The NNP cannot function that way. They would always segregate. They would always choose sides. Look how the NDC is operating. They're not interested whether you're on this side or that side. Look at the allowance for the different constituencies. $10,000 per month allowance for the constituencies, not just the constituencies belonging to elected members of parliament or ministers of government. No, across the board, because the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, he understands governance. He understands governance and how there is a cry for fairness and equity. And that is exactly what he's doing. Justice, in fact. So we have to acknowledge that. We have to point that out. But I'm saying all of this to say to you, we have to move to the next level where the members of parliament know that they have a duty, they have a responsibility. They have a responsibility to represent their constituents, to engage their constituents. Because it's 5 years, when that's over, you go back to the polls. And I am still trying to come up with 1 or 2 or 3 things that the NNP can actually campaign on, attack the NDC on. Because nearly every single thing that the NDC promised, they either completed it, delivered on it, or started the process to deliver on it. That's very important, because historically, the NNP will just come and lie for the Grenadian people, get the votes of the Grenadian people, and go back into power, grind the Grenadian people for a period of time. When it comes closer to the election, they start spending to get the people again. When they win, they do the same thing over and over and over again. That is what they're accustomed to doing. But we see a situation now where NDC is not just governing to win an election 3-4 years from now. They're governing to transform Grenada, to better Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Matnik. Because if they do that, our lives will be transformed too. Our communities will be transformed. Things will be better for us. And that is why I applaud the NDC for looking at minimum wage in the country. The NNP has been there for 20-something years. Why? Why they did not address the minimum wage issue in the country when they know for a fact that our people working for little money, long hours, and just stuck. And I gave them the name the working poor, because you're working hard and you cannot see your way. We have to start making the comparisons, because the NNP refuse, and the law says that they have a responsibility to review the this whole cost. Cost of living is a part of it, but the minimum wage issue, inflation, rate of inflation, and so on, to come up with something every year or every couple of years. But the NNP refuse to engage the people and to make any adjustment whatsoever. Lest you forget, it was the NDC who increased security officers' hourly wage. And it moved to $8, and then it will be moving to $9.25 come January. But who did that? The NDC. The NDC. Because by law, it's supposed to be reviewed ever so often. But the NNP wants to keep you poor. They want to see you poor and remain poor. That is why they're criticizing the young ministers of government who working, who have a salary, who have a check coming in, who could pay their loan. He's criticizing them. So they shouldn't take a loan and build a house. That is exactly what they're saying. They're attacking these young people because they want to see you poor, they want you to remain beggy, and they want you to come to them. The Honorable Delma Thomas told us all too well of how a certain individual was operating, because he believes he has money and he can just get his way through. But what we are seeing now is that people are coming of age, but they are getting wiser in the process, wiser, smarter. So the minimum wage order will come into effect come January 2024. You heard that public servants will receive 25% bonus come December, the latter part of December. I love that. The government indicated that that would cost taxpayers and the government of Grenada almost $7 million, 6.9 or so million dollars. So it's not easy commitment. It's not easy a move by government to bring a little joy to the workers. And hear me out here. A lot of them expected more. So why didn't give us a whole 100% or double it or give half? They don't concern about where the government is getting the money from. All they're concerned about is just give me. That's the kind of culture that the NNP, in my belief, fostered, expanded in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And to break that, it will take some time. It will. But that's a good move, in my view, when government invests in people, when government understands that you must always put people first. We heard tonight on the news the man behind Six Senses Resort or Hotel. He said, look, the people who will be employed at Six Senses will be Grenadians. Half or more of the management will be Grenadians. So that's a very good thing. We want to see more and more for people, cherishing what we have and building upon it. And when we see others coming to invest there and employing our people, we must applaud that. It's a good thing. That is why our beloved Prime Minister decided the government has to invest more in technical and vocational skills, training our men and women to be carpenters, plumbers, masons, electricians, joiners, architects, quantity surveyors, and we need to train our people to be able to do those jobs, or else they would bring in people to do it, and we all will murmur for a while, and then you hear nothing about it. So the government is serious about the development of this country. The government knows what they're doing. When the tax amnesty was announced, a lot of the NNP folks criticized it. Now the government is proud to announce that some 23 point something million dollars were collected from the tax amnesty, the 1-year tax amnesty. In fact, you still have a time or some time to go in and get your taxes right, because if you have to sell your property, you still have to get it right. Now you're avoiding the arrears, you're avoiding the penalties, but you have to pay the principal amount. So a lot of people have been doing that, capitalizing it, and look at the amount of money they were able to collect. 23.3 or 5 or so million dollars. That's a big thing if you ask me, and I want to encourage the NDC to continue to do what they're doing, because you're getting results out of it. The NNP criticized the tax amnesty. The NNP criticized the bi-monthly salary payment. But look at what we have seen from our people. They're happy, they're excited. They are able to not lend money to make it till the end. And that's the situation that most of them face within that particular time. So again, I am happy that things are happening for our people. Today, 3 young people, right? 2 persons, 3 people, they engaged with me, and they were in a conversation, and they said now they know that the ministers of government did not get a $2,000 increase, because when he did the math, they actually got more, way more, all right, than those who are there now. So people are learning, people are understanding fully well that all the lies, all the misinformation coming from the NNP camp, they're lies, and that's what they are, lies, misinformation, disinformation, and they're getting nowhere with that. I want to commend Junior George for doing 2 pieces in recent times, right? 2 pieces. I saw it. I really want to commend him. I remember when the Samoa agreement was announced, the NNP made all kind of noise. They have not even read the agreement between the United Kingdom, not the United Kingdom, the EU, and countries in the Caribbean, Pacific, and Africa, and so on. So it's 79 of them. And all of them signed on to that agreement. But we now discovered that the NNP actually knew about that and said nothing, but decided to criticize the NDC.
Quite frankly, I think all of the noises in relation to this Samoa agreement are really uncalled for.
Right along live.
When your office or you became aware of the Samoa agreement, and what was your recommendation to the cabinet in terms of signing and going forward?
So government is a continuum. Government is a continuum. And my information is that my predecessors advised the government on this since between 2019 and 2021. My information is that the government of Grenada negotiated this agreement since 2019 and agreed to the terms of the agreement and initialed the agreement since 2021. So it is not a matter that needed to come before me as government had already, despite all of what you hear, government had already agreed to this treaty. That's point one. Point two, there is nothing in the treaty, as far as I could see, that is inimical to the interests of our people or that potentially harms our country, our moral fabric, and the way we view things. There's no threat there as far as I could see. The agreement was signed on to by all of the CARICOM countries, as far as I am aware. The other thing is, when you sign on to an agreement, an international agreement, a treaty, a convention, it's a two-stage process. So first you sign, but it only has the force and effect of law domestically when ratification takes place and it is tabled in the Parliament. So what has happened is the first stage. And in the process of ratifying a treaty or convention, a country may do so with reservations. That's standard. So that you peruse the agreement and you indicate which clauses will not apply to your country, whether be it for economic, religious, or other reasons. And then finally, in the Samoa Agreement, there is a clause that allows a country to give 6 months notice of its intention to opt out of the agreement, and that's all it takes for the country to opt out. So, quite frankly, I think all of the noises in relation to this Samoa Agreement are really uncalled for, and as Shakespeare would put it, much ado about nothing.
Right, so that's a piece by Junior George right along. Thank you very much there, my brother. It was a very good piece. I was actually, editing that piece. And then I saw Junior did a similar thing, right? So I decided to use his piece. But it's a very important piece because the NNP, they're out there trying to make you believe that it's the NDC who just wake up one morning and decided to sign this agreement when they knew fully well that they're the ones who started the process. We have seen that on umpteen occasions. But we look forward to the comic show tomorrow. I want to also play a piece that Junior George did with regards to Keith Mitchell then and Keith Mitchell now on salary increase for ministers.
Folks, and welcome to this conversation, more so a debate of two varying ideas. And at the end, hopefully, you, the audience, will determine which is the better approach, which is the better way going forward. And today, happy am I to introduce my panelists with the varying ideas and concept in this particular topic. I am happy to welcome Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell of 2023 and Dr. the Right Honorable Claudius Mitchell of 2020. Two varying ideas, two varying approach, but hopefully the viewership will determine the best way forward. Let's welcome our panelists today. So first, let's start with you, Dr. Mitchell of 2020. What is your take on the proposed increased salaries of parliamentarians?
I do believe that members, ministers of government need to be compensated much more appropriately than they have in fact been, that in fact have been done over the years. I think we politicians are partly responsible for the state of play, because when we're in opposition, if the government move to correct one aspect of unfairness in this process, opposition give a lot of licks.
Hold on. What exactly do you mean by give a lot of licks? Please explain.
When you're in government, makes it very difficult for you to turn around and get the support. But I think we should reach the point to realize that we're doing a serious disservice to the country.
But wait, Dr. Mitchell, are you saying that you are in support of the increase in salary for a parliamentarian?
You see, in the estimate, the minister who heads the ministry is allocated $67,000. But if you look below, you see several persons whom the minister is managing, some $90,000+. Many persons in a particular ministry. It is clear to me, it's unfair. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's immoral.
Unfair and immoral. Interesting. Very interesting. Dr. Mitchell of 2023, is that fair? Is that moral?
The present salary of the opposition leader. I've been in government, sisters and brothers, since 1984. That's almost 39 years coming. Sisters and brothers, my salary is about 3,000 EC. Your representative here just got into government, never worked in our life, but her salary is almost $9,000.
$9,000. I mean, moderate. But what do you say, Dr. Mitchell of 2020? What's your take on that?
If we're serious about wanting people to serve, if we're serious about people having to make the necessary sacrifice with their own family, having to suffer. You heard the story of a member of Southeast, and with the limited resources they are getting, they still have to take out of it. In fact, you get requests, Mr. Speaker, every day. You get requests. Every church writing you for donation. Every school writing you. They don't write the permanent secretaries. They don't write the technical officers in the ministry. Every sporting club, Mr. Speaker, come to you. Well, especially in case I'm being Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. Everybody come from all over the country, not just my constituency. In fact, I always say to people, when I'm in opposition, I am better off financially than when I'm in government.
So hold up, are you saying that if you're an opposition MP, you're in a better position?
Because when people come to me and make demands in opposition, well, you know I'm not working. And you see that what they pay the leader of the opposition, 20-something thousand a year, a month. Sorry, a year. So that's only 2,000 something. That can't buy gas.
I want to know, and I'm sure that our audience is very interested to hear as well. So please tell us more about the salaries of ministers.
The former Minister of Youth, the former Minister of Education, they're here tonight. Their salary right now as a opposition parliamentarian is just over $1,000. Who the hell could live on $1,000?
$1,000? That's pathetic. That's pathetically low. But who created? But never mind. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No. It seems to me that if you increase the salaries of the parliamentarians who are not members of the government or ministers and give them a decent salary, $5,000 or $6,000 will be acceptable to the people of this country, because they have to perform a task of representing their constituents. But my friends, let me tell you this. Do not be surprised that they might be adding another $5,000 at least on each of the salary.
So tell us exactly what you think should be done at this point.
I would recommend appropriately the salary for the Prime Minister and every member including any opposition members, or if there are, or parliamentarians. I don't know whether they are yet. I still don't know. Based on what I heard today, I'm not sure what I heard. So I can't say there is. But they must be paid appropriately.
Gentlemen, I thank you so much for coming on and giving us two separate and different approach. And I'm sure
Right, so
our audience...
that's Junior George there. Again, I want to commend him for that piece. That's a good piece he did, because tomorrow you can expect Keith Mitchell to go into the parliament and make a big fuss about this and more, because he loves TB, he loves Bacchanal, he loves, speaking from, well, on two sides of his tongue. And you're seeing it right now. He said one thing then, and he's saying one thing now. It's amazing, if you ask me, but I am happy that Grenadians are able to see through this character. He cannot catch our people anymore. It's a different thing now. Grenadians are asking tougher questions. Grenadians are following everything keenly. They understand fully well that this government means well for our people, means good for our people. Grenada is moving forward. I want to also feature a little promo here for the women's arm of the NDC. I think I saw that earlier. All right, I saw that earlier, because tonight I want to wrap up the program a bit early again. I need to take some rest, man. I was really up and down in New York. So many events and activities that, after a day or two, it will take a toll on you. All right. In one night alone, I had to go for about 9 times, eight times straight, different events and activities. One drop me out, one pick me up, one drop off, one pick up, and just like not easy, but you know it goes.
The women's arm of the NDC invites you to its Christmas dinner themed and evening of elegance at the Spice Basket on Friday, December 15th. Tickets are 100 per person or 180 per couple. Come and enjoy a fine dining experience, then dance the night away. For tickets, call 449-5872 or 429-5177. It's an evening of elegance, hosted by the women's arm of the NDC at the Spice Basket on Friday, 15th December. Call now for your tickets, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Right. So again, please support them, support them, support them, support them. All right. My event, all the tickets are gone. Just a matter of collecting the money from the folks. It's supposed to have been month end, but there are still some people, well, not some, a lot of people, a lot of persons out there who have not yet fulfilled that obligation. So I'm hoping that between now and the 15th of December that we get all the money in, because there are a lot of people who told me to keep this ticket for them, keep that for them, and keep that for them. I did so. So I want to encourage you. Some reached out to me, some communicated with me to say, Kem Jones, yes, I will give you by tomorrow, next week, or a couple of days from now. Right? So I want to encourage those who ask me to keep tickets for you. I have it in my possession. I will reach out to you. If I have some of your numbers, I'll reach out to you. But again, I remind you that you need to honor your commitment, or else I would have to open up the tickets again for a sale. All right. So I have about, it's about 200 tickets still holding for folks. So I'm holding that. That's about $40,000 or so worth of tickets. All right. That's a lot of tickets, anyhow you look at it. So I'm asking you, if you told me to keep some tickets for you or hold some tickets for you, try to honor that commitment. Reach out to me. If you have somebody who has to come and pay, collect the tickets, if you have somebody who will handle your vibes for you, or if you can do it via Western Union, MoneyGram, do that for me. Right? Because within a period of time, I would have to, again, put back the tickets out for sale. So all the tickets are gone. as it stands now. But we still have about 200 tickets that I am keeping, holding for people who told me to hold 20 for them, hold 10 for them, hold 15, and so on. And there's some folks who have the ticket in their possession already, and you have to pay. So you have it already, and I expect you to pay. All right? So try to honor that commitment. Try to get that sorted between now and, soon, very soon. Send me a message. Let me know what's going down. There are a number of people who already paid, which is great. Paid already. But there are those who have not yet fulfilled that. It's supposed to be month end. It's supposed to be the last. But I went to the United States for a week. So I kind of understand. Some people were waiting for me to come back. Some folks, kind of work every 15 they get their money. So I kind of understand situations like that. Some people reach out to me, say, hey, Kem, you'll get the money weekend, you'll get it next week. You go, you'll get it in a couple of days. Somebody go check you out. But I want to urge you, if you reach out to me, because I have your names and everything like that, and I have the ticket number and so on assigned to you, and I have the tickets in envelopes and so on, So again, I want to urge you to please honor that commitment. All right? I know you will, but we need to get that out of the way because there's a lot of work to be done to get the event going. All right? So folks, it's 10 minutes on to 9. I'm going to wrap up at this point in time. I'm going to wrap up the program at this point in time. Let me see. All right. Okay, nice. Okay. So I'll wrap up the program. But again, reach out to me. You know my number, 1473-415-4817. Reach out to me once you told me to keep some tickets so you and you will honor that commitment. All right? Take good care.